Hi, Nana here. Welcome all of you to the next day session on procurement implementation. And then we are into HRMS activity. And then we have completed the job creation, the department creation, the position creation. Now we are now into employment creation. So let me stop my video. Then now go into then I'll now share my screen now. Go there. So stop my video and then let me share my screen now. We are into 40th step of creating the new employees. So let us go there and then do it now. Go there. Let me log in into my system and then I will be logging with my credentials. Fine, it is C00 underscore IMP. And the password is Oracle123 with the unit caps. Click on sign in and then I go inside now. So we come over here and then we are into the HRMS activity of employment creation. So you go there. So for which, what happens, you go to the work structures and then go to new person. You go to my workforce and then click on the new person. So previously we have gone to the work structures. In the work structures, we have completed the activities of job, the department, and then the positions. So in the work structures, we have completed everything. So here we have completed the jobs, and then we have completed the departments and then positions. The locations have already been created. Grades are not required from a position, from a procurement perspective, basically. So we completed everything, and then we are now going to go for new person. If I click on new person now, so new person also is available under the same work structures only. So click on the new person. So here we are going to get an employment. So go to this task pane carousel, fine, click on it, and then here what happens, I click on it, on the right hand side, click on hire an employee. I'm going to hire an employee. Click on hire an employee. And then here you can give a reason for hiring, fine, to fill a vacant position. And then the legal employer, C00. I'm putting my C00, fine. I will now choose my legal entity over here now. The moment you choose the legal entity, everything is coming automatically, provided what happens, your LDG is associated to the legal entity. The legislated data group must be available there. Otherwise, what happens, employees cannot be owned by this at all. Right? That's a very important one. And then go down. And then here, what happens in EBIS, we have only the last name as a mandatory, first name is not mandatory. If you go there and have a look at the EBIS now, switch responsibility, human resources, and then go to people, enter maintain, and then click on new now. So here, only last name is mandatory. Here, first name is also mandatory. Remember, fine, first name is also mandatory. Not only last name, first name is also mandatory. So you go there and then say this. So here, what happens? I'll be having 3 employees: EMP1, EMP2, EMP3. My first name is what? C00 underscore. So that is my first name, and then last name is EMP1. So have the nomenclature very clearly, and so don't get confused with these things. Fine. Your prefixes underscore, and then EMP1, EMP2, EMP3. You go down, and then here we come there. So here, what happens? I will not make gender as male. Fine. Date of birth is optional. I will not put my date of birth. 16/07/1960. And then national identifiers are not required from our side, basically. From a procurement perspective, this much is sufficient now. Fine. You give the first name and last name. The prefixes or other things are not required at all. Fine. Go there. So you have given this much information and then go for the next one. Fine. So my prefix C00 underscore and then EMP1. And then go for that and then click on next now. I'm not going to go to the next information of the person. It's a train actually. In this train, we are not going over there. It says there are so many matching records are there. Fine. Doesn't matter. Continue. So click on continue. So when it says so many matching records are there, fine, click on continue. Fine, click on. So there can be multiple Aishwarya Rais, multiple Simran, multiple Jyotika in a company. No problem at all. Fine, click on continue. So here's what that. So we go there and then accept this message and then of course go down. Here in this place, what happens? You have to, you don't give anything at all this place, right? The phone numbers, emails, marital religions, all the citizens, visa, they're all recorded only from a HCM perspective. So what happens? Don't give anything at all. Second one, what happens? You give nothing. Please, all of you mute your mic. Otherwise, I will not force mute it now. Now go there. Manage participants. Mute all. Yes. So go there And then here, what happens? Don't give anything on the personal information. That's sufficient. Keep it as a United States is working very fine because what happens? No localization patch is required for this now. Click on the next and then go to the employment information. Click on the next now. If you go to the employment information. So on the employment information, what happens? You go down and then here, what happens? Make the assignment active, payroll eligible, make it as no payroll. Fine, that is very important. Fine, don't make it as active, no payroll. So make it as assignment status is no payroll. Payroll, we are not doing anything at all. So afterwards, put the business unit over here now, C00. So once when you put your business unit, the business unit's positions will be available over here. Fine, here if you so want to see the business unit, because positions are BU specific, and so if you put C00, it will not show you the positions of only business unit. Positions are BU specific, remember. And so what happens, it will not show all the 3 positions now. I will not choose the junior manager mechanical. So the moment you choose the junior manager mechanical, the remaining things will get automatically populated. Fine. And then need to do nothing other than that. Just put the position and that's sufficient. You go down. Grade is not required because grade is only for HRMS actually. Location is also not required. There's also basically only for HRMS. And then go down. And then here you can see the manager's details is now showing as a mandatory field, but don't worry at all. Fine, it will accept it. So manager is nothing but a supervisor actually. So the supervisor is not required as it said. Nothing else is required other than this now. Fine. So nothing else is required. So you give the position and then give a tab and that's it. Everything gets populated. So in this page, what happens? What you have to do is tell me, yeah.
No, if we don't give the manager, if at all it is using employee supervisor, how does it?
We have to give. Yeah. We have to give, but not at this stage. See, now I am now creating the EMP1. So EMP1 is going to report to EMP2, but EMP2 is not yet created at all. And so what happens? We'll be doing it later now.
Oh, okay.
We are going to update the manager later now, not now. Fine. We'll be updating.
Okay, fine.
We'll be updating the manager later now because employee itself is not ready now. Fine, we can do it. So even though there are so many at star marked what happens fields are there, it doesn't mean that they have to be filled. Doesn't matter. Even manager is not having a star mark. Fine, but no need at all. Fine, doesn't matter. So in this place, what happens? Make the assignment as active, no payroll, and then put your business unit and then put the position, nothing else. Fine, click on next now. So the system automatically allocates certain roles based upon the HCM setup now. Fine. On the HCM setup, it will allocating certain things. Just leave it as such now. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, you can even remove it also. Fine. Business travel claim job and another request job. Employee is the one which is basically required. Fine. Just keep the employee as such. Doesn't matter. And then click on the next now. And then you're going to review and then submit it. So you can now see that C00 underscore EMP1 name is coming. Fine. And then go there. And then you're now reviewing everything. Fine. So review everything. So here what happens is save and then submit. Another submit button is there. What happens? We have to submit it. If I click on save, we are now saving it now. So the changes are saved and then click on submit, by which what happens, the employee gets created. So we have an employee role and click on submit. So give an employee role that's more than sufficient in fact to begin with. And then afterwards we are going to give more roles. Right? Click on OK, click on S. So the first employee is created. Similarly, what happens? EMP2 and EMP3 will be created. Any doubts on the EMP1 now? So we are going to create EMP2 and EMP3. So click on OK. It is now submitted. Go on and create the EMP2 and EMP3. Click on it and then click on hire an employee. The remaining are only for HRMS actually. So drop down and then here C00 and then populate your legal entity, not mine. Okay, fine. The employee 2, fine here. First name is C00 underscore, fine. EMP2. EMP2 is the one. Go down and then here gender and then date of birth 16th July 1960. Fine, so go there and then click on next now. Fine, nothing else is required at this stage now. So first name and last name, fine. And then click on next. Don't give anything on the personal information to begin with. And then it shows you a lot of the data quality management is now basically prompting with a lot of matching records. Just give okay, chalega. Click on continue. So it's now saying yeah, so many employees are there already. This thing. With the similar names. So in personal information, nothing is required. Fine, nothing is required. And then if you populate, nothing is going, nothing harm in this. Fine, but from a procurement perspective, it's not required as such. No, fine, click on next now. We'll be giving those some information later actually. Fine, go there. The employment information. What happens? Make this as active, no payroll. Active, no payroll. And then here, put your business unit. So business unit specific positions will be populating over here now. So positions are BU specific and then go there. C00 and then you will now have all the positions coming up over here now. go there, C00, and then it will all put what assistant manager now. So the moment you put the assistant manager, what happens? It will not showing everything now. Nothing else is required apart from positions. Don't populate anything at all. So the system will now populate certain values default, and then remaining leave the defaults as such now. Fine, click on next now. So this is the way we have configured our system where HCM is not implemented actually. And then click on next now. It's working successfully, so no problem at all. You may even find a better one, but doesn't matter. Fine. It's basically based upon your experience and teaching you. I don't say this is the only method by which you have to do it now, but since it is one working level, so I'm doing it, and then you may even optimize it later on. Fine. You may like to optimize it later on. But click on X. So C00 underscore EMP2 is now submitted. So the employment is now getting created. Click on OK. Okay. Now what happens? We go and then create our third employee. The final employee for this exercise, an employee. C00. If it throws error, then you have not provided the LDG for the legal entity. Fine. The LDG is there in the legislative paragraph when you're defining the legal entity. So first name is C00 underscore fine EMP3. EMP3 is the one, and then go down. Then mail 1607 1960. And then afterwards, click on next now. So personal information, nothing is required. And accept this DQM message. And then personal information, nothing is required. Click on next, and then the employment information we're going to provide it. The third employee, I'm going to create it now. So go down and then make it as active, no payroll. And then put the business unit as C00. How many people are C0? C. Okay, C18 is there. C18 is the only guy, I think, because the C2 is not ours now, basically. C02 it should have been. So somebody has created, I think, not ours. So C18 is the person who is now also working along with it now. And then go there, C00, and then I'm going to put the final one now. So it's MGRM, mechanical command. Put this position, that's sufficient. So having given this position, the remaining gets populated. So these are the three informations you're going to view in the employment information. Click on next, nothing to do on the roles now. Keep it as such, and then click on the review and then submit. Right? Click on next, and then you're going to review it and submit it. So in the review, I'm going to save, and then I will now submit it. So by which what happened? The third employee is now getting created. Click on submit. So the three employees which are required for this procurement training exercise are now completed. Now what happens? We are going to give a roles. Since it is entirely a role-based access control, what happens? We are going to give roles now. So when you give a role, what happens? You can now do this now. So let us go to Oracle Identity Manager. So for which, what happens? Let us now take a copy of this up to this now. Up to com, you can take a copy of it. Control C, and then Control T is for the new tab region, and then paste it, Control V, and then enter it. So we are going to go for the next one more tab region. So here, what happens? You go there, click on it, and then go to setup and maintenance. So in setup and maintenance, we'll now run the create implementation user. CRE percentage IMP percentage is the task name. So once you give a task, this task will not take you directly to Oracle Identity Manager. It will not take you to Oracle Identity Manager. Create implementation user. Click on the administration and then query your employee. So let me query my employee C00 and then simply enter. Enter. It will not show all the employees. Fine. Click on the first employee. In the first employee, what happens? I'm going to give this now fine. So the first name, last name, email. I'm going to put this now fine. The email is important for us now fine. nana.app60@gmail.com. So this is the first mail I'm going to give it now. Fine. Let the display name be there. Fine. The login. Let me make a change of the login now. Fine. It's C00_EMP1. That's it. A simple login I'm giving it now. Fine. C00_EMP1. That's it. So in this page, what happens? We have made a change of the username, and then we have added the email now. So email notifications are automatic. No need for you to have any email client or anything like that. So email notifications are automatic. So the display name, everything, I'm not keeping it as such, and I'll click on apply. So on the main attributes region, this many I have made a change. And nothing else is required. Fine. If you go there and see in the bottom, what happens? You'll be having a FA attribute. This means what? This employee is now eligible for doing any purchasing activity, whereas not your IMP. IMP will not have any FA attributes, and so what happens? He'll not be able to do anything at all. And then he can now do activities on purchasing, as well as he can now clear supplier sites as well as customer sites also. And this guy can create customers and suppliers, but he cannot create customer sites or supplier sites. Whereas these three employees are created via HCM, and so what happens? They are fully eligible for doing every activity, even whatever is related with the HCM as well as your supplier sites and customer sites. Right? So they must have the FA attributes. If FA attributes are there, that means what? He is now eligible for doing any activity on the procurement side. And then here, what happens? I given a click on apply, by which in the attributes region, I made some changes. Email, username, I've changed. And then click on apply. So you can now see has been some more. Click on the roles. I'm going to give a role now. Fine. I'm now going to log in only as what? C00_EMP1 only now onwards. I will not log in with the EMP at all. So I will not do all the activities with the C00_EMP1 now. I will not do every activity only with this now. So for which what happens? I will now give a AA0. Fine. Click on the roles first of all. So do any setups. I will not give a AA role. Fine. Click on assign. I will not give a AA role. AIC role. Fine. APP percentage. IMP percentage. Cons percentage. Fine. AA0 I'm going to give it now. So that further setups will be done only from this one. The AAC role will now facilitate further setups. Click on add now. So I'm doing it now. Fine. This is not again. And then afterwards, what happens? I'm not giving it. So this employee is now assigned as an employee. And then what happens? I will now assign him a procurement manager also. I will now make him as a buyer. Fine. He is going to be the purchase officer also. So buyer role, I'm going to give a such, and then I will now assign it now. Fine. Click on it and then assign it. And then I will now make him as a procurement manager also. Fine. Click on assign. He will now make him a procurement manager. So procurement manager will now facilitate a lot of activities on this now. Fine. Click on procurement manager. So I'll now make him as a procurement manager. Fine. And then he is going to do activities on inventory. So let us make an inventory. This thing also, if I click on assign, and then let me make him as an inventory manager also. So inventory percentage, manager percentage. And then here, what happens? He's going to do for C. What is our first org number? C0001, I think. 01 is the child org. So only for the child org, I'm going to give it now. Fine. Search for it. Inventory manager for my child org. Fine. Click on search now. So here inventory means what? He can now do the miscellaneous receipts, miscellaneous issues, and then he can now do intra-org transfers. Fine. Miscellaneous issues, miscellaneous receipts, and intra-org transfers can be done through inventory manager C01. Fine. Click on add. And then he can also do other activities of monitoring the inventory. Fine. He can even see the stocks now. Stocks can be seen by him, by inventory manager. And then to receive the item, what happens? We have the receiving agent now. Fine. Click on assign. So to receive the PO in the gate, fine, I will now say receiving agent, receiving percentage, agent percentage, C01. So only when this role is there, he will be able to receive it now, receive it in the gate now. So I'm now giving the receiving agent. And then to deliver, what happens, we have in this one, what happens if you see in this place, in R12, right, go there, go to the purchasing. And then here, this is a gate receipt, and then this is a receiving transaction is basically delivery. Now, delivery has been made as a put away transaction. So it is a put away transaction for which what happens, a put away is basically linked to warehouse actually. So here for the receiving transactions for putting it away into the inventory, sub inventory, what happens, we have to have a warehouse manager. So first of all, receiving agent is for the gate receipt. Fine, click on add. And then for delivery into the inventory, we had to have what? The put away, fine, warehouse manager. Click on assign, and then I will now give a warehouse manager. I will now say where percentage, man percentage, C01 percentage. Fine, only for the child org, only for C01 we are going to work upon. You may even experiment on multiple orgs basically. Fine, that is up to your thing. Fine, only on one org I will demonstrate it now. So warehouse manager C01. So receiving agent C01 will now allow you to receive on the first child org, on the child org in the gate. And then warehouse manager will now allow you to put away into the what's called your inventory actually. Inspection is also possible. The standard and inspection are possible only with the warehouse manager. So the receiving agent mode, this one is given. And then here what happens, I will not go on assign, I will now assign all the human basically, human roles basically, what happens, you can now do all the modifications. And then you have this only with your implementers basically, fine, not the purchase officer actually, fine. Just this being a training, I am now attaching all the human, but don't attach human to everybody. Fine. Now, since it's a training, I'm not going to log in only with this particular user, and so what happens, I'm not attaching all the human over here now. So human is attached, and then what else? And then what happens to open the GL or to do some basic activities, we must have the general ledger activity. If I click on assign, and then click on what happens, gen percentage, lead percentage, and general ledger activities. Fine. Then again, what happens is C00 percentage, and enter it. C001, but C0 percentage, enter it. Nothing is coming as such now. C percentage. Why is not coming? It may not be general ledger actually. Fine. C00. I forgot on that here. The rules. General accountant is. So the general accountant for your primary ledger as well as your general accounting manager for your same. Right? If these two things are available, what happens? You can very well do what GL activity on your particular ledger now. The GL activity. So opening of the periods and other things, because we had to open the payables period also. So I'm now using these two things. But again, do not do this for your SCM training. I'm just attaching it because what happens, we'll be opening the what's called the GL period and then afterwards payables period. So for which what happens, we need it now actually. So the general accountant as well as general accounting manager, I'm going to use it only for opening the periods and nothing else fine. That's the only thing. But the total GL activity can be done by this now. The general accountant as well as general accounting manager is for GL actually. Fine, click on add. And then for payables, what happens, there are 3 roles which are available here. And then click on assign because we are going to push it to payables also. Click on assign and then what happens, we must say PAYA percentage, C00 percentage. And we must say the payables, there are 3 roles are available here. So one is what for the business unit. They're all the business unit level. Fine, and that's all. So one is the payables manager, one is the payables specialist, and then one is the payables specialist. You go through the security manual. Security manual will tell you each and every role, what are the functions basically. But what happens, don't think too much now. Fine. The person who is a super user must have everything, all the powers basically. So specialist and then a supervisor has got manager, everything has got some difference in the roles actually. There are some job delegations are there basically. But don't think too much and then what happens for the super user, have everything. This is for the payables basically. Payables on the business unit level for you. C00. Click on add. And I hope that I added everything. I'm not very sure, but if anything is missing, we'll again come back and then we'll add it now. Okay, we'll keep on adding it. Basically, inventory manager is required, receiving agent is required, warehouse manager is required. And then afterwards, yes, for creating the requisition, the first activity is requisition creation. And buyer is for purchase orders. For the requisition creation, we are going to add 2 such roles now. One is called advanced procurement requester. Fine, C00. So advanced procurement requester is for requisition creation, remember. Advanced procurement requester and then advanced procurement preparer. Fine. I will not say requester, I will not remove it now. So both requesters and preparers, they are added. Advanced procurement requester. Similarly, advanced procurement, maybe this may be the only role I think. Advanced procurement requester. This is for requisition creation, remember. Advanced procurement requester for your business unit. It is for requisition creation. And then buyer is more than sufficient. Fine. And then we are given a procurement manager also for doing all other activities basically. Fine. Advanced procurement requester is the one. Click on add now. Is now completed. Fine. Please take a note of everything whenever you're running the records basically. Fine. Actually roles is a big one which you have to think and then I keep on adding it now. I will not see whether the preparer is there or not. Advanced procurement preparer also. Apart from that advanced procurement requester, you can now go for the procurement requester and procurement preparer. Procurement percentage C00. Procurement requester and procurement preparer also. Apart from advanced ones, what happens? You add procurement preparer and procurement requester for your business unit. So advanced procurement requester is one thing, and then afterwards add the procurement requester as well as procurement preparer for your business unit. Fine. So I'm querying it procurement percentage C00 percentage. I'm doing it now. Fine. So the procurement preparer and requester are also added now. Fine. Click on add. Fine. These are all for requisitions. Again, I'm telling you procurement preparer, procurement requester for your business unit plus advanced procurement requester. Fine. So these 3 roles are for requisition creation, and then the buyer role is sufficient for purchase order creation. Yeah. Anybody?
Nana, Abhishek here, one doubt.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
The roles what you are assigning, those roles are created by us or
the system has created a role. Whenever a business unit is created, whenever an inventory org is created, whenever a GL is created, whenever a primary ledger is created, fine, the system creates all these roles. The system creates all these roles automatically. So the system, whenever an entity is created, the system created so many roles. So we are not creating. But apart from that, you can also go and then create a roles also. Find a role with the specific functions only. Like what happens in sysadmin in R12, what happens? We can now customize your what's called your menu itself. Fine, like that is also here. So there is again a separate training on security. Fine, security of a sysadmin. And then if you attend it, you will understand about how to create your own roles, how to assign the functions which you're going to do. Fine, there are so many policies, procedures, privileges, etc., etc. So many things are there. So by which what happens, you can also create your own role. Not necessarily the system created roles. Right. The system creates a role whenever a business unit or an inventory or a primary ledger or what happens, legality or all created, it creates certain roles. So many roles it is creating it. So we are now using those seeded roles only.
Okay, thank you.
I'll click on add now. So procurement preparer, procurement requester for your business unit, along with advanced procurement requester for your business unit. The system has already created upon business unit creation. I've added. I hope that this much is sufficient, and then if something is not working, we'll again come back and then we'll not do it. So whenever you assign a role, there is no need to save at all. The system saves it automatically. So don't go beyond this. These are all for sysadmin activity, resources, process, direct request, and also don't go there. They are all for sysadmin. When you undergo a sysadmin training, they will not teach you everything. Fine. Only this much you restrict yourself now. The attributes we have done nothing, the rows. Since I am now going to log in only at what? As C00. I am now going to log in as only C00_EMP1. I will not do everything only from this now. Fine. No more IMP. Because IMP is not a procurement user at all. Fine. It is an implementation user. It is not a procurement user. Whereas this guy has been created through procurement, and so what happens? You can now see the FA attributes coming up over here now. Fine. So I'm now going to do even the setups also from this now. Only for this training I'm doing it. In reality, you have to think about to whom what to give. Fine. Accordingly, give it. For example, one guy is only going to make a gate recipe. He's not going to deliver it. So give only a receiving agent for the guy, and then don't give warehouse manager for the guy. Fine. Like this, what happens? You have to think, and then do it. Whom to give what? So this much is now done. Let me reset the passwords also. Click on the reset password because system generates some random passwords. So click on reset password. I'm going to reset the password now.
No.
Tell me.
No, is there a specific reason for creating an implementation user instead of an employee? Because you directly created an employee in HRMS and implementation and
sysadmin, of course.
Sysadmin, yeah. Is there a specific reason?
No. It is
other than this FA
practice, basically. Fine. You have to learn everything. This is a teaching. Okay. So what happens? This is not the exact method of implementing actually.
Okay.
Implementation, what happens, you will decide about how to go. But you are now, what happens, you are now learning the features. When you create an IMP user, he is not eligible for any, for procurement activity. Whereas anything which is via HCM will be eligible for this thing. So that's why what happens, we create multiple things and then to show it to you. Right? Just to make it.
Okay. I mean, if I attach the procurement roles to a COIMP, he'll be eligible, right?
No.
Okay.
At all. He cannot do anything at all.
Oh, I mean, you mean to say that we can't attach those roles to IMP?
You can attach the roles, but it will not work at all.
Why not? What is the reason?
Since he was not created by a CM, what happens? Nothing will work for him at all.
Okay. Got it. So in the real time, so whenever we create an employee, if, for example, if HRMS is not installed, and if the client is asking us to perform all the HRMS activity through purchasing, so we can create the employee directly, right?
Yeah.
Attaching the roles.
Human roles, basically. If they are having the human roles, then we can create all the activities of job creation, position creation, department creation, employment creation, everything can do if you have all the human powers. You associate everything. Any role can be associated anything. Fine. Nobody is going to stop you. Because you are the implementer. And so you have one super user who will be having everything. And then from there, what happens? You create all the employees.
Okay. Okay, no, thank you.
In fact, what happens, this is the methodology by which what happens, we have done the implementation in all the things also. It doesn't mean that we have to do like this, but I have done like that only. I have taught and then my students are also following. They create an IMP user and then create the entire structure and then they will now create all the employees based upon the requirements gathering. Right? So requirements gathering will tell you about how many employees you have to create and then what role you have to give it. Now I am now for EMP1, I am giving every role, but you won't give such things for everybody. Fine. Only for easiness.
Of course.
I will now only log in with 000 C00_EMP1 only. I'm going to log in and nothing else. New password is Oracle 12. Fine, capsule. There are so many blah blahs are here. Fine, what else? Then Oracle 1.2. And then do not email me. Fine, doesn't matter. And then click on reset the passwords. I'm resetting the passwords as Oracle 1.2. And then I will know the password expires in the first login. So the password has been changed successfully. No need to any save at all. Now you go to the EMP2. So for EMP2, I will not give all these roles. Only EMP1 is going to have plenty of roles like this. EMP1 is having plenty of roles because I'm not going to do all the activities only from EMP1 now. So only because of which I have given, it doesn't mean that the first employee has to have everything. Right? One guy has wrongly misunderstood. And then he has given all these roles to the first employee he is creating. Bobry, I told him that it's only for the training. And then what happens? The management has started shouting that that guy is able to do everything. In Kenya, it happened. This guy has, by mistake, he thought that what happens? This is not the implementing methodology. It is only for teaching you. We are doing it like that. And then that manager immediately sent a message to me that that guy is able to do everything. Why? Oh God! Then I checked the roles. Bobry, every role has been given to him. I told him that you are an implementer. You keep all the roles. Do not give for any employees. Any employee, find whom procurement employee or a requisitioning employee. Don't give anything. And then he has forgotten that. Sir, you have created for the first employee every role. That is only for the training here. Oh God. So apply your knowledge. Basic sense you have to apply and then I do it.
Manan, can we? I'm here.
Yeah.
Can we revert back the roles?
Yeah, we can very well revert back. Fine. If you go there,
Okay.
let us try to remove one unnecessary role here. So the system has automatically allocated so many roles basically. Whenever we will not revoke anything, we can revoke at any point of time.
Oh, okay, fine.
Other request job is there. Fine. I will now click on it and then click on revoke. Fine. Click on it and then you can revoke at any point. You can revoke.
Okay.
Don't assign any unnecessary roles in the field now. Fine. Only give whatever is required. Otherwise, that guys, if they fiddle around that, fine. AIC role will now allow them to fiddle everything. Fine. Do not give AIC role to anybody at all. You keep only for the super user of them. Fine. Identify one super user and then give it him the AIC roles. IT security manager, he can do only. If you don't give any IT security manager, he cannot come to this page at all. I will not show you. EMP2 and EMP3 will not have any IT security manager at all. So they cannot come to this page at all. So if they don't come to the page, they can do nothing as such. Fine. You will see. Or rather, you can come to the page, but nothing will be available. The welcome page, what happens, you can now see the create user will be grayed out for you. And so you cannot query on any of the users at all if you don't have IT security manager. You can come to this page, but all these things, the right hand side, everything will be grayed out because you don't have any powers. IT security manager will be kept only with some top level people. The implementers, the super users, and then maybe the general manager or something like that will be having IT security manager. Otherwise, others will not have anything at all. Here, I have given IT security manager. I don't know whether I have given it or not. Oh God, I have not given. You click on assign. I have to give IT security manager first of all. Fine. IT security manager. I have to give. I have not given it. So let me give the IT security manager. I forgot on that. That is the basic role which is required. So that is for sysadmin activities now. Remember. So if you don't have this, you cannot come over here. And then if you don't have AIC role, he cannot create anything. No setups can be done. For performing a setups, what happens? Your AIC role, application implementation consultant role is must. So for the second employee, nothing will be there. Fine, go to the second employee because they are only successive approvers for this training now. Fine, go there. And then go there. And then here, what happens? The attributes. I'm going to make a change now. Fine. C00 underscore EMP2. I'm making a change on the username. Fine. Email, I'm going to give it now. Fine. It is apps.nana because it will be going over there. Fine. At iappsconsulting.com. This is my previous company. The login is still there. I'm not going over there. So I want to change the email as well as what happens C00 underscore EMP2. That's it. Nothing else. Fine. Click on apply. So change the email and then username. Fine. And then the roles, no roles at all. I'm not giving any other roles. Fine. So he has given an employee role, doesn't matter. So the system has now given default roles. I'm not giving and assigning any roles because I'm not going to do anything at all with this user. Only for approval purposes, I'm going to have it now. Fine. Let me reset the password. Click on the reset password. And then make it fine. This is not the implementation methodology. Remember, it's only a training, teaching methodology. Again and again, I'm telling you, fine. Don't think that you have to give everything for the first employee. When that guy told me he's fresh from college, basically. When people are fresh from college, what happens? They will not do exactly whatever we do. They don't even think it exactly. So they don't even apply the brains, basically. So that is the problem. So go to the...
Seriously, even we had the same doubt, Nana. I mean, how come this is happening? Because You will be you assigned all the roles to the particular employee, and you created an employee, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So even we had a mindset that this is how the implementation steps goes on.
No, no, no. The implementation for the user employees, they're all user employees. For the users, end users, give only powers, whatever they. So if they're going to have an inventory work area, they're going to do it. Otherwise, don't give any inventory. If they're not
Yeah,
going to,
only after you started giving the warehouse manager put away transaction for put away transaction, you started giving a role, right?
yeah,
That's how I came to know. Okay, for each and every transaction, we need to have a exclusive role.
role, exactly, fine. And then give those roles. I will now give you one document on what are the roles which are available for procurement, and then you can go through that, and then what happens, you can now decide and then give it.
No, one more thing for the employee too. If you don't give anything, how come he'll be able to receive the purchasing notifications?
He will
At
not
least he should be having the
notifications. He
responsibility,
will
right?
now receive. He will not receive notifications, but he will not do any what's called a desktop receiving, and then he will not do any put away, and then he will not do any inventory activities. Nothing he will do. He will only for approvals. For example, my general manager is there. The general manager is only going to approve the requisitions. He is not going to do any transactions in the system. The higher authorities will have no role at all. And that too, what happens since it's coming on email? What happens? They will not even log in the system at all. So for the higher employees, you give no roles at all. So,
Okay, okay.
so in our case, EMP2 and EMP3 are higher employees. Fine. He is a general manager. He is a vice president. Fine. That is what it is. So for them, don't give any roles because they are not going to work on the system. If they want, you have to give it, depending upon the need actually. Fine. You have to first of all end with the need based upon your discussion. EMP3. When I went to Kuwait for the first implementation, their GM was appreciating me like anything because what happens, I was not only doing the data collection, but what happens, I was also parallel teaching because I'm basically a teacher. So what happens, I taught everybody. And then he was very happy upon me. Fine. So, beautiful work you have done. Fine. And then whomsoever is going to come for the training, it doesn't matter, but you yourself has taught everybody. Fine. Everybody, how to operate the system, I have told them. Fine. And in the receiving part, I have told them, I sat with them, everybody, for 3-4 hours, and then shown them all the receiving actually, because receiving is the main activity, which will be done by many people. They'll be seeing those things. So I changed the user login, and then I put the third email over here now, nothing else. Fine. So C00_EMP3, and then roles, I'm not going to add anything. Click on apply first of all and come out of it now.
It has changed the last name and first name. Does it matter?
Oh, how come it has got changed here?
I mean, when you have selected the, email account, maybe automatic.
Okay, fine. It should not be. It doesn't matter, but even then, what happens? Oh, you're saying, see, one guy has very keenly watched. When I put my name, what happens? This email has been given to somebody else, and so what happens? It does not put something over here. So EMP3. Good. Any other mistakes? Please identify. Just then and that tell me. Otherwise, when I'm making this thing, it will not error out. Fine. Again, first name and last name is not much of importance as far as our approval is concerned. He's only going to approve, nothing else. Fine. Has been modified. So click on apply again. Unable to modify because nothing has been changed. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. So C00_EMP3 and then go to the rows. Nothing. I'm not going to change anything at all. This guy is not going to have it. Click on reset passwords and then I will give a new password. For the second user, have I reset the password? I am not remembering it. Did I reset the password for the second user?
Yes, we did.
I did it. I click on reset password. So upon reset password, so now let us go and then log in as the first user now. The first user I'm going to log in now. Fine. Nothing else. I will not be no more logging with the EMP at all. Fine. Close it. Close this identity manager. Do not log out of identity manager. Remember, close that particular tab region, and then from the main one only you log out. From the transactional screens you log out, because when you log out of identity manager, you'll be again logging back only into identity manager and not to the transactional screen at all. You can never come to transactional at all. Then the case you have to take a copy from your email and then put it on this place and then do it. Now what happens? Let me log in as this C00_EMP1. Now onwards, I will be using only this C00_EMP1 for all the activities. This is the one. No more IMP. Fine. What is Oracle 1.2? And remember, this is only for the training, and then only for convenience of the training I'm doing it. But don't allocate those so many roles to the first employee. Click on sign in. The password expires upon first login now. So Oracle 1.2 is a login with which what happens? I'm logging in, and then the password expires. So the old password is capital O, Oracle 12. The new password is Oracle 123. All of you, please keep your password the same so that what happens whenever you have a problem, I can immediately log in into your account and then see what exactly it is now. Go there and then keep the security questions simple. Fine. First question, then the second question, the third question, right? And then click answers as 1, and then 2, and then 3. Keep it simple so that what happens, you can even retrieve the password if you have forgotten it. Now, fine, click on submit. So by which what happens, the first user is now logging in, and then later on I will be logging only with this now. So the password has been changed. We go to the springboard of this first user now. We'll have plenty of things, so many icons will be there. Click on update passwords. So if you go and then see on the procurement area, fine, click on the procurement area. You'll be having the requisitions, you'll be having the purchasing also. My receipts is self-service procurement receipts, and then suppliers are basically for supply creation. Supplier also, we had to have a role. Fine, I forgot that for supplier creation, we have to have 2 roles actually. Fine, but the advanced procurement manager itself has given this power actually, because there are some roles which are what happens common for so many things. Or my procurement manager is now giving you the supplier role. Otherwise, what happens there? There's a specific role for supplier. I will not show you to that also. For supplier creation, there are 2 specific roles there. Click on setup and maintenance. I will not show that role also. Create percentage IMP percentage in the entry. The clear implementation users. Then click on the administration. And then go for C00 and then query now. I will now go to the first employee. I will now add for the supplier creation. Fine. There are 2 roles in the supplier. Click on assign. If you are not given the procurement manager, then you have to add this now. Fine. SUPP percentage entry. The supplier administrator and then supplier manager. Supplier manager. With the control, you can select multiple things. With the control key, you can select. So these are the 2 roles which are responsible for supplier creation actually. And supplier administrator and supplier manager. Okay. And then what happens when you want to import an item into the system? There is one more role. Fine. For item import, I will also do that now. Fine. Click on assign. For item import, we need the product data steward role. If this role is not there, we cannot import an item into the system. Remember. Fine. Importing of the item, we are going to see it later. How to import an item. Fine. From the legacy system into the Oracle systems. Product data steward is responsible for importing an item into the system. Otherwise, we cannot import it. I might have forgotten something also. So as and when it comes to my knowledge, I will now go then add the roles now. Fine. Close it. Click on that. Now the next activity is what? I am now going to assign the supervisors for these employees. So you go there. I will not click on it. I will now go for manage persons. For the first EMP1, EMP2 is the supervisor. So I'm going to assign this now. Fine. You go to manage persons. So what happens? You go to my workforce, and then here what happens? You go to person management. In the my workforce, you go to the person management, and then here what happens? We are now going to assign the supervisors for EMP1 as EMP2, and then for EMP2, EMP3. Click on as person management, and then let us go there and then query my employee. HRMS works like what? The last name, comma first name. Fine. So the last name is what? EMP1, comma space C00. That is the way you have to query. Fine. You have to put the name EMP1, comma space C00 is the first name. Fine. C00 underscore. So the first name is C00 underscore and then last name is EMP1. So EMP1, comma space and then the first name, click on search now. It will not show you this. So it works as what? The last name, comma first name. Remember. So when you go to the person management and querying it, what happens? You add it. So click on the hyperlink on this bottom. Fine, click on it. The person will be opening it up. Click on it. It will now open up. It will now open up. And then here, what happens? In the bottom, if you see, the manager is missing now. Manager details are missing now. So I'm going to edit and then add now. Fine. Click on this edit now. There is a edit and then here what happens? Whenever you want, what happens? Editing an employee, go for an update. My HCM team told me they don't go for correct. They are saying that you go for an update now. And that is the best thing. I don't know why it's so. So remember, you have to go for an update on the employee's manager now. Fine. Click on edit update. So it's not asking you what for you're doing it. Action is what I'm not going to what the manager change. Action reason nothing is coming. It's coming. Okay. Correct the invalid supervisor assignment. Fine. And then click on OK. So give the reasons properly. And then effective start date. Fine. I will not put 01/03/2017. And I don't say that what happens is the correct method, but what happens? I am now using it now, fine. But again, talk to the what's called your HRMS manager. They will not tell you about this. It's not accepting anything. What is saying? Enter a date on or after 5/6 only. Oh God. So when you make an update, what happens is not taking today's date basically. It is not accepting the older dates basically. Updates can be only on the today's date basically. So 05-06. It is not accepting any dates. Click on OK. If the system does not accept, otherwise what happens? Use the other only 1/3/2007. That, and then here what happens? Go down, and then here manager details. Add another is now coming. The button is coming. Click on add another. Click on add another. Now tell me how I have to query now. Anybody? My employee 2 has to query now. Fine. I have to query my employee 2. So how to query it now? I'm in HRMS. Anybody? How to query my employee?
Yeah, EMP.
One second. EMP 2 space C00 underscore. Fine. That is the way.
Yeah.
Fine. EMP 2 comma. Once again. It is C00 underscore. So that should be the way. Fine. It will come automatically. So if you put it, it comes over here. EMP2 comma space C underscore C00. Fine, what is? Go there, he becomes a manager. Then type is a manager, line manager. And that's it. This is called the supervisor of an employee. Fine. The way you have to give it now. So last name comma space first name. Fine, what is? Last name, and then go there and then click on what happens. Save, review, and then submit. Fine, submit is not coming. Click on save. Click on OK. And then click on review and then submit it. So review, what happens? It will not show you the changes which you have made now. Fine. In the review page, what happens? It will not show you the changes actually. So on the line managers area, the proposed values, assignment values are not showing on there now. So it will not show all the changes, doesn't matter. Then what happens? You go on and click on submit. So for EMP1, we have now done this EMP2. Fine. We will now query EMP2 now. We are going to query EMP2. Remember, follow the strict nomenclature as far as training is concerned. You know, one guy has created, he has gone to Madurai. I'm saying about 10 years back when I conducted this training. He went to Madurai and then in the what happens, he has now created the inventory org as what? INV01. That guy was asking, what is this INV01? He says that if you create like this, what happens, we can easily query. Wow, just change it to Tirumangalam org. In the evening, he was calling me, sir, they are not agreeing your nomenclature, sir. What is the nomenclature? INV01. Oh God, that is only for the trading year. So I was totally, now what happens, he's now a very big man. So the freshers will be tempted to what happens, use my nomenclature and all. It is only for the trading because so many people are working along with it. Now. So do not use these nomenclature in the real ones. The real ones has to be, your changes have been now saved, fine. If you, okay, doesn't matter. We already applied it now. We have submitted it actually. Now what happens? We go and query the EMP2, fine. EMP2, comma, space C00. So last name, comma, first name. And then click on search, it will not show you immediately in one go. Otherwise, so many things will be coming, you will be finding it difficult to basically understand it. Fine. You click on this employee. And there are so many other actions of that. You can even try R&D later on. And do all the R&Ds, whatever you want to do. Fine. I'm not doing only some specific simple ones only. Whatever is required for you. You go there, click on edit and update, and then I will now put EMP3 over here. So go there, and then what happens? Manager change, then action reasons. Go there. Click on OK, accept it, and then go down. And then here, I will now put the employee over here, manager details, and then click on add another. I'm going to add another. The name is what? It is EMP3, comma, space C00 underscore. So for 2, what happens? The third employee is the one is going to be the manager now. So it has not shown you over here now. Choose that and then type as a line manager. Right, that's it. And then click on save, review, and then submit. So all the activities in HRMS is now complete now. I told you about so many roles, and then you can even read the role document. It will give you a lot. And today I have sent you a lot of documents on the technical side. Fine. there are 2 videos along with what happens. Another link for finding out the table names and then view names, etc., etc. So for the technical people, it will be more useful now. I spoke to my technical team and then they have given this value. So you can just go through that and do it. Click on done. So the changes are not saved, doesn't matter. Click on SNAP which are coming out. So all the activities on HRMS is now complete. Go there. Let's see this. I've given all the roles and all. And don't look at this document. They're all very generic in nature now. But look at my video and then do it accordingly. Now, purchasing is going to begin now. Till now, what happens? We have now done the financial setups. We have done the business unit setups. We have done the inventory org setups and then HRMS setups. Now, the purchasing setups is going to begin. So without setting up the purchasing, if you go there and try to what? You try to open the requisition form. Fine. You click on it and then go to the home page now. Go there. Go to the setup and maintenance. Well, no, home icon is not coming. Click on home icon. It will not throw an error now. Your business unit is not set up. Fine, go down and then click on the procurement. If I try to create the opening the requisition page, fine, purchase requisition, I'm going to open up now. It will not throw an error now. Because your business unit is not set for purchasing at all. So you do not have an active business unit for opening this requisition form. Can anybody tell me what are the prerequisites setups for purchasing in eBiz basically? When you want to do a requisition creation or do any activity on this thing, what are all the prerequisite setups which you have to do on your operating unit now? Anybody?
Very first is you have to choose the set of books.
Okay, that is on the financial side.
Okay, and purchasing.
And
purchasing option. Purchasing, you need to choose the numbering. Main thing is numbering and control.
See, you're telling about the internal one. I'm telling about the broader perspective.
On a broader perspective.
Which options has to be set now for working on purchasing actually? They are the preliminary setups. If you don't do those 2 options, what happens? Your operating unit is not set for purchasing at all. What are they?
You need the profile options to be set.
Not profile options. Profile options is okay only for the line of business. Only for the line of business you'll be doing it now. Anybody else?
Receiving option? Receiving
options is not a one. That is not for, that is at the inventory level. Fine. I'm talking about the operating unit level now. Not the receiving options. What is the first one you have to set up now? Which option you have to set up as the first one for the procurement BU? For the purchasing operating unit now. Anybody? What is the first option which you have to set for purchasing? Anybody? The first one is financial options. So the first one is financial options, which acts as an umbrella for both purchasing and payables in eBiz. Here also the same thing. Fine. Here also the financial options is known as common options here. Fine. Is known as common options. So we have to set up the common options first, and then afterwards, what happens? You have to go for what? What is the next option you have to set up for the purchasing operating unit after financial options is set? Everybody?
Purchasing options.
Exactly, purchasing options. So the next one is purchasing options. Fine. So you set up the financial options and then the purchasing options, then the operating unit becomes ready for setting up for purchasing. The operating unit becomes ready for setting up purchasing. Here also the same thing. First is common options, here is it, and then afterwards what happens? The purchasing options. The purchasing options has been set to 2 different things. One is requisition and then requisition option and then purchasing options. Fine. So it has got 2 parts now. Fine. Requisition and purchasing. So in eBiz we have only purchasing options. Here we have requisitioning options and then purchasing options. The naming is slightly different now basically. So there are 3 things you have to set. One is what? Financials, requisition and purchasing. So once when they are set, then your business unit becomes ready for operation actually. Is that clear now? And then there are plenty of setups are there, out of which one of the first setup is a very complicated setup. Tomorrow's class, you must have 2 horns. Check your head first of all. So this is a very difficult topic. And then what happens? I have taught my students, they are all highly confused. And then afterwards, what happens? I have devised one simple method of what happens doing it now. Now they are using that method only and doing it. And then you also, if you are not good on categories is the first one. If you are not good on categories, just follow this thing, right? And then try to make the system up and running. And then do an R&D later, right? Once the complex requirements comes in, what happens? They do an R&D letter. Do not go into these setups at all. Fine, they will be all be basically very difficult. In fact, fine. I have devised afterwards. After this is not done, I have devised a very simple mechanism by which what happens? You will be soon up and running. In fact, what happens? Many of our projects are running only like that now. And then we never go into complex categories. Basically, categories is really very complex. And then I can even think of it only at a later time once when you are comfortable with the basics. Basically. Do not even open up, expose these categories to anybody immediately. So we are going to do what? Up to 46th step, what happens is on in up to categories basically. So I will be tomorrow. I'll be telling you about all these things and then try to understand it now. Fine. So and then we'll now go ahead on the first purchasing setups tomorrow, which is a very tough one, and then that is the only tough one. The remaining setups are all easy. Fine. So this is the only tough one. The key flux field, MCAT, for categories and catalogs. So that will be starting tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. India. So any other doubts?
Nothing, no.
So far, no.
So far, nothing. Okay, man, you understand. And then try to assign the roles as per the requirement. Actually, and that is very, very important. Okay. So if there are no questions, we'll now stop the recording. Good.
Okay, no. Thank you.